What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. Today we're talking about the new Summer 2023 collection from Cadillacquer. So if you haven't heard of them before, they are an independent nail polish brand that is based in Switzerland, but they are available internationally, and all of their polishes are 5-free, meaning they are free of 5 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They are vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So we've got 9 new nail polishes to go over today, and they're all neons, but we have an exciting twist because they're all shimmers or iridescent flaky jellies, which I personally was very excited about because as much as I love a neon cream, I do feel like we get kind of overloaded with them in the summer and we never really get the exciting finishes for neon. So I was really pleased when I received these. I'm very excited to show them to you. So let me go ahead and do all the swatches, then we can talk a little bit more about my thoughts on the collection as a whole, and then also where you can buy them, availability, pricing, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today it's the Orly Bonder. So we'll go in pretty much rainbow order here. This first shade is called Doing Her Own Thing, and this one is a super intense neon hot pink base that is absolutely packed with an intense blue shimmer running throughout. And I have to say, I love shades like this. I love mixing opposite types of base colors with a shimmer color, and I think it just makes it look so eye-catching and beautiful. And I really thought this looked gorgeous in 2 coats. It was definitely giving a little bit more of a jelly-like feel, where for the most part it looked full coverage, but you could still see just a hint of my visible nail line, even though it was very smooth and leveled out, so could easily get away with doing 2 coats. I ended up applying a third just to show you what it looked like for the review, and I think it just made the color look a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more opaque, but really I would wear it in 2 coats just because I personally love that look. But it's really nice to have the option where you can kind of build it up to more coverage if you prefer that type of look. I also noticed once I had that final coat on that there is a little extra fleck of blue in there that kind of just gives it an extra little sparkle, so I loved that as well. Next up we have the shade Butterfly Kisses, and this is the juiciest red jelly base, and it is absolutely packed with iridescent flakes. And I love when Cadillacquer does shades like this because unlike most brands, they really go in with the flakes, and there's such a variation in size, and some of them can be so big, and it really gives off this almost like stained glass mosaic kind of vibe on the nails, and I absolutely love that. So it's really fun where each nail kind of has a little bit of a different look depending on how big the flakes that you got on it are, and I thought this looked so gorgeous and bright and summery in 2 coats. Moving on, we have the shade Strawberry. This one's honestly tough to describe because I want to call it like a neon salmon. It definitely sits somewhere between pink and orange, and it has such an intense saturation to it that I love, but we also have a duochrome shimmer in there. So looking at it head on, it actually looks green, which is such a gorgeous contrast, but it shifts into an almost blue color at certain angles. So this is so unique. I love the pairing of this green shimmer. It looks a little gold on video, but it really has that intense greenness to it. So these opposing shimmers in the color are amazing, and it was so opaque in 2 coats. Next we have the shade Bittersweet, and oh my gosh, this one was tough to capture on camera, and I feel like I really didn't even do it justice. It is an intensely neon traffic cone orange jelly base, and then we are packed again with this shimmer that, looking at it head on, it has this almost coppery pink kind of color, but around the edges you can see it goes a little bit into gold, and again we have these slightly larger shimmer flecks that just add so much dimension to the color, and I loved that. So this one I thought was absolutely perfect in 2 coats. It gave me the perfect amount of coverage, still showing through my visible nail line and giving me a little bit of that jelly feel, so I would definitely wear this one as a 2-coater again. But I did want to show you what a 3rd coat looked like, and at first I thought it was going to be a little bit patchy, but once it dried, it actually leveled out on my nail really smoothly. So I love shades like this because you can really play around with how many coats you want to do, and it'll look level in each coat. Then we have the shade See You Again, another absolutely eye-searing color that I just don't think I did justice on camera. This is a neon highlighter yellow base, and it's hard to tell, but there's actually an intense orangey shimmer running throughout. So I thought this was really stunning, definitely unlike anything in my collection, and I just love that contrast. Again, we have this almost green toned yellow with this golden orange shimmer in there that just adds so much dimension to it. It looked gorgeous in 3 coats. You might need a 4th coat, but I think that the coverage looked great in 3 coats on my nail length. Moving on, we have my favorite of the collection. This one is called Sky Dancer, and this is another intensely neon color. This one is a neon lime green jelly base that is packed with these iridescent flakes. Again, we get such a variation in the size and shape here, and what I love about these is they give this almost orange yellow color through that neon green base. So again, we get this amazing contrast, and I think it just adds so much to the polish. So again, loved the way it looked in 2 coats. I love that jelly-like look, but I did add on a 3rd coat just to see what it looked like with fuller coverage, and that was also really stunning. It definitely makes the polish a little bit more vibrant and neon on the nails, and it gives so much dimension with all the layers of iridescent flake. It just looks so cool and original. Then we have the shade Tranquility, and this one is a softer green jelly-like base, and then within that we've got this intense blue shimmer, and I've only mentioned it a handful of times, but all of the shimmers in this collection do have that little extra fleck that just catches the light, and it looks slightly larger than the usual shimmer in there, but it's still a very subtle little shimmer. It just adds a little bit to it. So this one, I originally applied it in 2 coats. I actually do prefer this one with a little bit more full coverage just because it's not as intense of a color, it's not as neon, so I do like getting a little bit more color payoff here. So I loved the way that it looked in 3 coats, and I still was able to see just a touch of that visible nail line. So I thought it was a really cool color combination. Again, we almost have this like kind of warmth in the green, and then we get that blue shimmer to kind of cool it down. Moving on, we have the shade Summer Nights, which this type of color is just me in a bottle, so I knew I was gonna love it as soon as I saw it, but once I applied it, I ended up loving it even more. So it's hard to tell in the bottle, but it's actually a purple jelly base because it is so packed with shimmer that really once everything is combined in full coverage on the nails, it actually looks like a blue. So we have this intense, almost teal turquoise kind of shimmer in there that when it mixes with the purple, it creates this intense royal blue kind of color. So the more layers that I built up, the more blue it looked on the nails, which I thought was really fascinating. So I did enjoy the way that it looked in 2 coats for a more purpley look, but I thought it was so stunning in 3 coats with that intense blue color coming to life. So definitely loved this one in 3 coats. And last but definitely not least, we have the shade Peace of Mind, and this one is a purple jelly base that again is just packed with these iridescent flakes, and this time we actually have a couple of different colors within the flakes. So we've got some that are a little bit more red leaning and some that are a little bit more blue leaning, which together just match really well with this gorgeous purple. And again, we get these huge flakes in there that just give it this stained glass sort of look that I think is so stunning. I think these flakies are really the standout of the collection, which is saying something because I really enjoyed all of these, but there's something about these flakies that just have so much depth and dimension to them, and the color combinations are stunning. So would definitely love to see more of these, but I do think it's something that in general Cadillacquer does very well. I just like these very vibrant summery versions. So here are all of the shades together, and oh my gosh, what a stunning rainbow of colors we have here. I love all of them. I love the contrasting shimmers in there that just adds so much dimension to the colors. Like I said, I love the flakes. I think they're so gorgeous, and I think they make for such an interesting dimensional type of polish. And I know not everybody loves a neon. Personally, I do, and I think it just feels very special when there's this intentional sort of jelly vibe to them. A lot of times neon polishes take a lot of coats for full coverage, and they're just a little bit patchy, which I'll talk about in a minute. But in this case, it did definitely feel very intentional because each coat feels like it gives perfect coverage across the nail. So if you're looking for a sheer look without that sort of patchiness, this is definitely the collection for you, but you can also build it up. So yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more. So yeah, those are the polishes, and I am really pleased with them. I think the colors are absolutely stunning. I think the shimmers work really well in them. I love those jelly flaky polishes as well. I really do get get a jelly vibe from all of these polishes, and I love that because you can kind of build up the opacity how you want it. And I tend to be a person who likes to show a little bit of visible nail line, so I like having the option in this collection. But I think the most exciting part about this collection is having the unique finishes in a neon color story. I just think that's really special, and I think that it's something that we aren't seeing enough of, so very pleased the Cadillacquer decided to do it. But yeah, the formulas are so easy to work with. Neons can be a little bit tricky when you're working with a cream finish, just because they can either be really thick or really sheer, but not even across the nail, so there can be some sides of your nail that are like a little bit more opaque. But in this case, I found them to be very smooth, very self-leveling, but also just not thick or difficult at all, just because we're working with a different formula here. So it's almost like getting the neon without the difficulty of application. So yeah, overall, I think this collection is incredible. I really loved every single color. So now let's talk about pricing and availability. Because these polishes are made in Switzerland, you do have to go through stockists if you want to purchase them internationally. They do all come in 15 milliliter bottles, which is actually pretty big for a neon. It's the same size as the OPI bottle, and the price does vary based on where you get them. But for those of you who are in the US, I saw that What's Up Nails is carrying these, and they retail for $15.50 USD each. They're also available on Nail Stuff for Canadian followers, and then there's a few other stockists, so I'm going to link them down in the comments. They are available for pre-order now through June 11th, so definitely grab them if you are interested. But yeah, I would love to hear what you think of these. What do you think of the colors? What do you think of the shimmers and the jelly finishes in a neon formula? And are you planning on picking any of them up, or have you ordered them already? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please give this one a thumbs up. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course, a huge shout out to my supporters on Patreon, my Royal Astronomer Amanda M, as well as my Cosmic Admirals, Rocket Man's daughter, Paula, Ken, Rosie, and Courtney. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. So fun fact, I'm actually a pretty big poker fan, which I think is funny just because I always said on my channel, I do not gamble, even though I live in a city of gambling, and I've never been into gambling and I never will be, but I really enjoy watching poker. I don't go to the casinos to watch people play or anything, but I do like watching the shows that have poker on them. And the reason I was thinking of it is because while I was swatching these, I did have poker playing in the background, and that's pretty common for me, just to like have a poker show playing while I'm swatching. And I don't know what it is about it, but I feel like I just like the mathematical aspect of it, and I also like watching people bluff, and I don't know, I think it's very exciting to watch. But the idea of actually playing myself is something that I would never honestly do, just because it's so easy to lose your money, and even if I was incredible at it, I feel like I would never ever play for money. But yeah, I always think it's fun to watch. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy like kind of figuring out the odds of things and just like getting excited to see what's gonna happen. So yeah, that's my weird fun fact of the day. So I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.